This is an Intact Again podcast news segment with the restoring news you need for December 2024. We check in with Zach at Stealth Retainers, where things are heating up. And we share a book review of Atomic Habits, a book we think could help many of us achieve our restoration goals. Stealth Retainers, based in Austin, Texas, recently purchased TLC Tugger manufacturing rights and has been making steady progress at breaking into the retail marketplace with his expanding lineup of foreskin restoration products.
Since the beginning, my goal has been to normalize this because a lot of us don't get to choose what happens to our foreskin, and there are a lot of people that think that they just have to live with it.
To make foreskin restoration known to a wider audience, Zach, CEO of Stealth Retainers, said he believes niche communities may be his best opportunity.
That there are a lot more people that would be interested in restoration in general if they even knew it existed. In the gay community, there is a lot more guys that have seen other penises that aren't their own that may or may not be circumcised. And when you have an encounter like that, you immediately can see the difference.
Zach said he's making his first moves in the gay marketplace.
We are in Mr. S Leather in San Francisco, which I don't necessarily consider that mainstream. It's a very niche kind of kinky store, but they are very well known in that community. So I think that starting in those areas and getting more and more people just exposed that this is a thing that is possible and exists outside of the internet is going to be really big for just the entire restoration movement.
They are also taking products to leather shows.
Some of the in-person events we have done IML Chicago, which is kind of like a leather pageant, if you could think of it that way. And they have a huge vendor market. That's one of the biggest of any of these types of events in the country. And yeah, we've done that for 2 years. And we talked to thousands of people that have never heard of restoration who are very intrigued. And it's really great to see people's reaction in person to something they've never heard of. Yeah, we really like the in-person events, and it's really, I think, helped us see that there is potential for this in places that people are actually visiting and can buy these products outside of the internet, especially when they can be sized in person.
These efforts have led to an increase in revenue.
Our sales definitely have been going up this year pretty significantly, which is good because we now have 2 shops and 3 full-time employees, not including myself. So obviously our expenses have gone up significantly to keep scaling everything. So
I asked Zach about his plans for 2025.
yeah, that's a great question. Kind of an overarching goal is to make everything as efficient to make as possible so that we can try and keep them affordable and still pay the bills. I want to do more wholesale type strategies and do more business to business sales to, again, increase those people that are seeing it every day.
A business coach recently recommended I read Atomic Habits by James Clear. By the end of the first chapter, however, it became clear this book was really meant to help me with my restoring efforts. The fundamentals of change, Clear writes, include making a 1% improvement every day of your life. Over time, these incremental improvements lead to exponential gains. He goes on to share the science behind forming and maintaining habits, which includes making the habit obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. The whole rest of the book is a discussion about how to create systems that make these habits stick over the long haul. Clear writes, goals are about the results you want to achieve. Systems are about the processes that lead to those results. Ultimately, it's your commitment to the process that will determine your progress. If you're struggling to stay on your restoration path, check out Atomic Habits by James Clear. It may be the help you've been looking for. Be sure to subscribe to the Intact Again podcast so you never miss an episode of interviews, news, and shorts. We also need your support to pay for hosting and podcast promotion. Consider becoming a Patreon member, where you can donate a little or a lot. Every little bit helps. Hit the link in the description. And finally, here's a short sample of our next interview.
I have a very intersectional experience that may become increasingly more obvious the more we talk, is that I come from a background of multiple religions, multiple races. I am trans, intersex, disabled. I have lots of identities that aren't considered by society the norm. And essentially, my main goal is bringing intersectional leftism, intersectional feminism to the genital autonomy movement.